scene. That was good.
Yeah, that guy had a jawline like the Cliffs of Dover.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy looked like an agent.
That was good, man. Like Lost, I think was really popular, and so when he got, you're like, oh my gosh, that was legit. So I picked Ilsa Foss, so I'm not going to go deep into that. But I'm going to say this one's going to be weird. But I liked Lindsay Ferris from Mission Impossible 3, played by Kerry Russell, because it's like Kerry Russell was J.J. Abrams' stalwart, like from Felicity and those various shows, and then they did a lot of the marketing of her as an action star. So in the beginning, when her and Ethan like got each other's backs and they're spinning around in circles and shooting people and doing all this, and then her head blows up, or like her eye goes all bloody. Her doesn't blow up. It's not. This is
that would hurt.
Yeah,
that would hurt because she comes across like a student.
Yeah,
like a protege, and she has that sweetness about her.
Yeah,
too.
And like out of her league, Ethan let it happen. It's almost a good thing for him to maybe get out of the game to do, but I didn't remember seeing too many trailers for Mission Impossible 3, so when that happened, I thought she was good in the action. I'm like, we're going to get Kerry Russell action star. This is awesome. And then her eyeball blows up. Whoa. And I know it's like fridging of a character. People don't like that. But I think because she wasn't like a wife or anything like that. She was just another agent, so it's fine. But just because she was a J.J. Abrams acolyte, and I thought she pulled off her scenes cool, and then I don't know, I didn't see that movie going there, and it went there, so I dug it.
Yeah, that struck an emotional chord real early in that movie.
Man, that got me. Yeah, so that's mine.
I think my next pick is probably because this character was my favorite assassin from the franchise, and I forgot the name of the actor, but her name was Moreau in the movie in Ghost Protocol, the blonde French woman.
Yeah.
Who was kicked out of the window.
She went flying.
But she was like just nasty. I mean, you could tell she was like this smooth, but just cold as ice.
That's what the franchise needs, right?
Villains it was almost a Bond feel to her as an assassin.
And then she went to a Bond movie.
And I love the part where she figured it out from Renner, from his little contact lens that he had in his eye, and how she was tuning in on it. So I think she to me was an assassin. Was a complete assassin to me while watching that movie.
They get some good actors for some small roles in this movie. No, I dig it. And she landed on a car, that's for sure. She probably wrecked something. No,
she fell a long way.
But like, think about what makes Die Hard good, right? Very capable side henchman. Or think about what like Mr. Joshua from Lethal Weapon, who works for the main Gary Busey's Mr. Joshua, who works for the main villain. It's always good to have secondary antagonists that are, because I mean, if you think about the main antagonist of Ghost Protocol, he's running away from everything. Like, you can't, that final fist fight at the end, you're like, what is happening? Why is Cruise losing this? This is the weirdest fight I've ever seen. So she was more tuned. Remember the car park fight?
Yeah, that was my least favorite part of Ghost Protocol, because the bad guy, that Swedish nuclear, I don't know, what does he call it?
Yeah,
philosopher or something like that. He just wasn't the good bad guy. It was just too vanilla, too plain. And that's my big issue I think I have with Ghost Protocol. For all the action that they had, the bad guy was kind of a letdown.
Insane cardio, too. Yeah, so that's why I think she was good, like having Léa Seydoux in there, just to add a little menace to it. No, yeah, that's a good call. And we've already done this. I'm just going to bring it up, but I just love Decoy John Lark, because I did not see that fight scene going that way. You know what I like, too, is if you think about the fight scenes in this movie, you have the beach fight at the end of 2, which is like a knife fight, and then you have a couple fisticuffs with Philip Seymour Hoffman, but then the fourth one you have him brawling the Swedish dude, and the fifth one you have the kind of Rogue Nation opera house fight. But in this one, I mean, that dude hammered him. He won. And so, I don't know, that's what I like. Like that, for me, you don't see a side character just handling the 2 stars, just destroying them. So, I mean, I dug it. So I would add Decoy John Lark in there just because of the surprise. It was cool. I've been reading up on the stuntman. Like, the guy got a huge boost from it. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going to say, Decoy John Lark from Fallout.
So my fifth, I'm going to go back to Mission Impossible 1. And it was the wife of John Voight. I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
So what happened in Mission Impossible 1, I mean, you think that John Voight was dead, and his wife was the only one that survived. But then you don't really know if she's good or if she's bad. And
Claire.
John Voight shoots her, but you know she's a villain. She was trying to get the money and turn Ethan in, but at the same time you felt bad for her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how often is it that an actor can pull off, one, you feel bad for her trying to do this to Ethan.
Yeah.
But I think she really did care for him. She just got swept up in this crime. So it was really complex emotion with her in that scene, especially in the end with the train.
Yeah, Emmanuel.
John White shot her.
Emmanuel Barrett, like she's legit.
Yeah, she was just so multidimensional that I really like that one.
Man, look at the cast from the first one. You had Tom Cruise, John Voight, who, I mean, Oscar-winning John
Emilio
Voight.
Estevez.
Yeah, Emilio getting wiped out. But then Jean Reno, I mean, this was a couple years removed from Professional. Ving Rhames, a couple years removed from Pulp Fiction. Kristen Scott Thomas, who was about to break huge. Vanessa Redgrave. Like, this was a stacked cast that they brought in for this movie. They weren't playing around with this, that Mission Impossible. And I think they've carried on throughout well, 2 is kind of crazy. But for the rest of them, I think they've really focused on casting.
Yeah, I got to go back and watch 2. I just couldn't.
It's
bring
bonkers,
myself
man.
to do it.
It's insane. But like, all right, so let's think about this, right? When did Mission Impossible 3 come out? So Mission Impossible 3 came out in
Was it 2001?
2006, right?
Oh, okay, wow. Okay.
But if you think about that, this is 2006, and they brought in Philip Seymour Hoffman to be the villain, which is, I mean, dude's amazing. Right? In 2006, he'd already won his Oscar. So, I mean, now you look at movies nowadays where they bring in Charlize Theron in Fate of the Furious, and they bring in Oscar-winning actors. I know there were Oscar-winning villains before Philip Seymour Hoffman, but I just like how the Mission Impossible franchise is always focused on bringing in some, like,
it's got to be really interesting. It's got to be interesting to be on a Mission Impossible set.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think just being on set with Tom Cruise, right? I had a chance. I was working on a movie here, and I had a chance to go work on one of his other movies because they needed someone to do cars, but I was working on something else, and I couldn't go over there and help out.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, kind of kicking myself because I would have loved to have seen how much that moves. Like, you set everything up. Oh, we're moving. Like, wait, what? And then just have to adapt. But that might be freeing, though. It's like, should I set this up, or are they going to change it? It's like a chess match. Like, he changed it yesterday. Will he change it today? Should I hold some back? Like, that'd be kind of fun to work on. It would test your
test your nerves a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure it'd be fulfilling once you watch it.
But everything else will be easier after that. You do that challenge, and it's great. Then everything else will be easier after working with him.
Yeah, you're just so used to working on the fly. No, I mean, that's what most of set life is anyway. But yeah, so I have a question for you. Fast and Furious franchise or Mission Impossible franchise? They're completely different. But which would you, if you had to sit down and watch them again?
Can I say early Fast and Furious franchise and the later Mission Impossible franchise? Could I combine them?
So you have to form your ultimate 6.
Oh, that's easy. Oh, I'll take the first 3 Fast and the Furious.
Yep, that's what I would do.
2 Fast, 2 Furious, Tokyo Drift.
Yep.
Then moving over to Mission Impossible, I would probably go MI3 and then Ghost Protocol and Fallout. I would probably skip Rogue Nation. Rogue Nation was good, and it was a fun, taut movie, but it's not as big and awesome as Ghost Protocol and Fallout, in my opinion. So that's what I would go.
That's okay. So I would do Fast and the Furious, the Fast and Furious, 2 Fast, 2 Furious, Tokyo Drift, Mission Impossible. Then I do Mission Impossible 3, and then Ghost Protocol. That would be my ultimate 6.
You know about Rogue Nation is it was good, but I can never remember it. We've talked about this before. The best barometer of a movie is memorable until I remember it after watching it. And I watched it in preparation for this episode, but I don't remember.
That water scene I always forget.
The water scene, and then there was an opera scene, and I remember Solomon Lane just shooting someone for no reason.
Yeah.
And Elsa Fosse, I don't know if she's good or bad, but that outside of that, it just doesn't stick with me. I don't retain it.
I feel like I can see most of 3 in my head. Fallout's going to be glued in my brain forever.
Yeah, we've watched that so many times.
I got to tell you, so I listened to the commentaries on this, and I mean, McQuarrie and Cruise and all the editors and people who worked on it deserve a victory lap for sure. But in these commentaries, man, this movie's 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 20 minutes. And it's just like, oh, that's amazing. Oh, look at that shot. That's beautiful. Oh, stop right here. Look how beautiful that is. Oh, look at that shot. look at that framing. Oh, that's beautiful. It's kind of that for 2 hours. And you get a little worn out about it. Like, oh, it's so great. It's so great. I think it almost jaded me a little bit towards the film, listening to them talking about how great it is for 4.5 hours.
Oh, that's a long time. But that's one of the staples that they have are these action sequences through beautiful areas.
Mm-hmm.
Like Pulpit Rock at the end, that's in Norway, where they had Cavill and Cruz fought at the end. That was in Norway. But the helicopter chase was in New Zealand through the canyons. But then they went through Paris, and then they went through London, and they've been in Morocco and all over the place. So they do these beautiful chases through scenic areas, and that's a staple of the movie.
Yeah.
Gives them a lot to work with.
All right, so before we get out of here, I have my major complaint about this movie. Now, biggest complaint. Cliffhanger, right? The final fight is between Stallone and John Lithgow on a mountainside on a helicopter hanging from a mountain. Like, hanging there. Exactly like the ending of this movie. And I just remember watching Fallout and going, that's Cliffhanger. Because I had done the episode with Adam. And so, it's one of our more popular episodes. Rennie Harlan. But, it's the Cliffhanger fight. So I guess for me, it's a little, it took me out of it. I know it's a good fight. It's a good brawl. There's some good facial scarring, but to me, it's too much Cliffhanger. It didn't feel new to me. So that's my main complaint. It's a Cliffhanger final fight. So I don't know if you felt that way, or if you remember Cliffhanger.
That end scene was so long with the helicopter chase. It was just strange that they had the fight on the Pulpit Rock.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, why? Why is this needed on top of the helicopter chase scene?
That's a good point. Because it's not really memorable. I've watched this movie nonstop and I don't really remember much of it other than it's just Cliffhanger. Like, it's a helicopter hanging. Like, the helicopter's hanging from a mountain. And it's, I don't know, just also the thrill of seeing Stallone and John Lithgow trade punches is pretty amazing. If someone said, Mark, do you want to watch a fight scene between John Lithgow and Stallone or Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise? What are you going to take? Like, I'm going Lithgow all day. But that's my only complaint.
Is he athletic? I don't remember that fight scene.
Well, he's a big guy. So I think, Lithgow's 6+ feet, probably 220. Like, he's a big, burly dude. So compared to Stallone, he's a lot bigger. So just remember him from Dexter, how intimidating he was?
Yeah, so, Lithgow as the Trinity Killer.
Yeah.
In season 3 of Dexter was one of the best bad guys I've ever seen.
So unhealthy. It made me exhausted and gave me nightmares. I don't get nightmares, but I couldn't sleep and I got nightmares from him. So yeah, I think his just presence is what you have. And plus his accent is insane. But yeah, that's my one complaint about this movie is the final fight reminds me too much of Cliffhanger. Which it's really not a bad thing to say because Cliffhanger's amazing and Rennie Harlan's awesome.
Well, that and the number of times they said plutonium clearly irritated you.
I mean, there's a lot, right? They say plutonium. Like, I hate plutonium as a MacGuffin. Just when I hear in Too Fast, Too Furious, I'm more thrilled about the cigar cutter scene, trying to steal it from Cole Hauser, than I am about plutonium being. When I hear plutonium being stolen, my eyes just gloss over. Plutonium.
Yeah, where are they going to go? Where are they going to go from that in the next one?
Plutonium again?
Not again. No more plutonium.
Yeah.
You know what bothered me? I got to tell you what bothered me. You know what Avengers ruined for me is the storyline about not sacrificing one to save many.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just the Avengers beat you over the head with that so many different times with Thanos that now I see this and I can't deal with that storyline anymore.
Or just remember in Ultron, we got to save all the people in Sokovia after Man of Steel, and there's about an hour of them getting innocent people off of a floating rock, and you're just come on, guys. This is
a long one.
Yeah, just don't put them on the rock, and then just focus on the fight and more characters. Like there's I don't know. That's just exactly. It's just, but yeah, when they're saying it, so the world can blow up. How many people died in the pursuit of this plutonium? But
exactly.
One of their guys lived. And so I don't want to see Luther dead. I mean, and also Luther's saved the world a few times. So it's like maybe Luther is worth the life of everyone who died.
Yeah, you're right. So he's earned it. He's got a lot of capital there.
Yeah, I guess if it's a random person, you're like, well, have you ever saved the world? Do you have guns? What skills do you have? I bake bread. I like bread.